What's up, everyone? Perry here, back at New York Comic Con 2025 for another highly anticipated interview. Talking to the cast of Black Phone 2.
Oh my God!
I feel like a jerk bragging, but I have seen your movie twice, and it gets better and better.
Yes. Love to hear that.
Phenomenal work. Yeah. Not to waste my time by reviewing your movie to your faces, but my favorite thing about this is that I think everybody's going to walk out of the theater, and no one's going to know which one's their favorite, and their favorite of the two is going to switch any given day. That's one of the coolest things ever. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right. I warned you all, and I'm going to warn our audience. We're talking spoilers. This is not the interview for you. If you have not seen Black Phone 2, run to the theaters, go see it, and then come back and watch this interview. Maddie Mason, my first question's for the two of you, because we see the evolution of Finn and Gwen's abilities this time around, and it was making me wonder if you two had any big burning questions for Scott when jumping into the roles, things you had to kind of like talk through to really wrap your head around what they're capable of.
Yeah, there were a lot of conversations. Before filming, we had a lot of time to just sit down and just talk about scenes and talk about our characters and exactly where we wanted them to be and the kind of the arc we wanted to. And that's what I loved so much about Scott, is he was very collaborative on that aspect, just, you know, because he knows we know these characters, and he knows I know Finney, and I want the best for him. And that's what's so fun about it, is we're all just, you know, trying to do the best for these characters.
For me, coming back and playing Gwen was a lot more challenging this time around, because in my opinion, it kind of almost felt like I was playing a completely different character. She's so different than she was in the first movie. There were some nights where I would just call Scott and I'd be like, Scott, I'm really nervous for this scene. Like, I don't want to let anyone down, especially knowing that the fans are so intrigued and it's something they're anticipating so majorly. So there were definitely some moments where me and Scott would just talk for like the longest time on and off set about specific scenes that I was going to do. And I think it's so important, like, that you see the dynamic between Finn and Gwen growing so drastically since the first film, because they've taken with them this huge traumatic event that happened. And it's great. You kind of get to see the ways it's affected them and how it's kind of shaped them into who they are now.
Oh, I'm going to get into that in a moment, but I want to follow up on something you just said. Can you maybe give me an example of a scene or two that made you need to call Scott and talk it through?
Definitely, I feel like one of the biggest scenes for me was seeing my mom's death. I was stressing about that scene like no one's business. I mean, the pressure I felt, and when we were actually doing it, I mean, working alongside Ethan, he's so terrifying as the grabber, so it's like that kind of helped in an aspect, but nothing really prepares you for seeing an image like that, especially since I've never gone through anything like that in my entire life, not even close. And so I think just seeing that as me and, you know, not as Gwen, I feel like I really just put myself in her shoes, and I was able to portray my real reaction as to what I would feel seeing that disturbing image.
What you all do as actors and the headspaces you put yourself in.
That took me days to recover from, I'm not going to lie.
The second you started describing that, I was also thinking about the beautiful phone call at the end.
I was going to say that was another.
What was the conversation about that particular moment? Especially because I don't even know if you have a scene partner in a scene like that.
Yeah, no, it was all one take, which was also super scary. Me and Scott had a long talk with Anna, actually, beforehand. Anna, she was talking to me through, like, I had a little headphone in, and she was talking to me before the scene, which kind of helped a lot. We were kind of talking to each other in our characters. And, you know, she told me right before the scene started, for some reason, it's making me emotional talking about it. But she was like, I love you so much, Maddie, and you're going to kill it. And as your mom in the movie, I love you, Gwen. And it just like broke me, and I was able to.
Such a beautiful moment, and I love Anna in that role. I'm so happy for her horror 1-2 punch this year.
She's
between
a queen.
This and Final Destination.
Bloodline. Oh
truly such a queen. Miguel, I'll come your way now to talk a little bit about your dual roles, and I'll give you a big two-part question about this. Can you tell me something about playing both Robin and Ernie that you wanted to keep consistent, something to make them feel like brothers, but then also something about Ernesto that you wanted to do differently in order for him to stand out from his brother?
Oh, great question. I can talk about that in depth. Yeah, Ernesto.
No, he's free.
Ernesto is, you know, when I first got the call that I was going to come back, Scott literally just told me, hey, you're coming back to play this preppy honor student, wears glasses. And I thought he was joking. I have a message where I'm like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah. And like, I'm not joking. I was like, okay, tell me more. And we kind of went from there. And then when I read the script, one thing about Robin was that cool guy, this badass, fighter nobody wanted to mess with. And he had such a powerful impact in the first film that I did not expect for him to have. And then now coming back to play like a totally different version of that was exciting and challenging. But this, as an actor, you want to build this world and this perspective for yourself to step into. And the world that I was able to build for myself was, in this Black Phone universe, everybody probably wishes, oh, it should have been Ernesto. Why wasn't it Ernesto? It should have been him, Robin was the cool guy. We want Robin back. So it's like stepping into this character of Ernesto. He has a comedic touch to this film, but I think behind all of that is this like sadness to him, right? I think he carries a lot of that with him, and he wants to be able to make his older brother Robin proud. He wants to be able to fill those shoes. He knows that everybody at school probably wishes it was him, and it's just like every scene that I did, those were the thoughts behind that, those emotions. And it's just one of those things with Finn as well, like seeing the relationship that Ernesto has with Finn, very different than the relationship that Robin had with Finn. So it's like literally Finn says in the movie, I don't like him. And that was something that I took that was very deep for myself. I was like, okay, this tells me exactly the relationship that I need to have with these characters. And in the way that they're very similar is Robin was there for Finn. He was in his corner, and now Ernesto is there for Gwen, and he's in her corner. So I think both of these characters have a really strong heart, and they have the courage to do what's right. So it's cool to be able to come back and portray, have this positive influence in the film.
I've never heard you say that about Finn. It's funny? Going into it, my headspace of why Finn doesn't really like Ernesto was because he can't really look at him.
They look the same, exactly.
It's because he looks just like Robin. Mm-hmm. And it's something that's not said, but it's something that's felt. And I feel like it's kind of shown in a couple scenes in this film.
Yeah.
And it's so sad, man.
No, it is.
Yeah.
Mason did a phenomenal job helping me, feel that, because exactly that, I look different than what I do from when I portrayed Robin, but it's, there's the similarity there. So, there is a lot of emotions to everything. One of the most important scenes for Ernesto is that scene where he talks about his brother. And that was the scene where, was I want to say the most challenging, because there's layers to that.
I feel like the unspoken layers is what sets your movie apart from so many others. Like a lot of what you just said comes through beautifully without explicitly being stated, and I love it.
Oh, thank you.
Something else. Demián, I'm going to come your way to talk a little bit about the three of them, because I feel like we generally have a habit, and this is very valid, of asking, newer actors, a lot of you are very experienced at this point, but newer actors what they've learned from the acting veteran. But my favorite thing is that it can go both ways. So can you tell me something you saw the three of them do on this set that made even you stop and go like, my God, that's something else. I should try that one day.
Yeah, no, totally. And I fully agree with you, because I'm not a big fan of horror films. I've done
quite good at them for not being a fan.
I've done a few, and it's way more fun to shoot them than to watch them. And when Scott called me, I say, okay, please allow me a couple of days to watch the first one. And then when I saw it, I thought, I want to be a part of something like that. It was so classy. It was so well shot. And not liking horror films very much because of the gimmicks and the sound effects that make you jump and all that. I hate those type of things. So the horror here was so deep into these kids' characters, into the psychology of it, and how the real horror was at home with their own father. And when I saw them in action, you see, one of the things we actors always pray for is to be able to play with the best actors. I love sports, so you are as good as your team, the team you play with. And when I saw these kids in action, I was so impressed because I thought, what? It takes years to do what these guys do. And I was so excited about, I want to see them grow. I want to meet these kids on set and see what happened over the last 4 years or 5. And what I found was exactly what's going to make these guys superstars, and international movie stars. They already are, but they will continue to be, and they will stay there for good because it's easier to come in and then, boom, they're gone. No, these guys are so ground to earth. They're so professional and humble. They don't believe in all the success they're having. It's all about the work. It's all about being on time. It's all about knowing your lines and knowing exactly what you have to do with the character. And you were talking about the last scene that Maddie has at the end. And I have never cried in a horror film in my life. And I was in tears just by watching that. I haven't seen not even the greatest actors accomplish that. And now that I learned that it was a one take, it's like, my goodness. Just to be on set
Deserve
with
the praise.
them and be able to see them. I had the best seat in the house. I was so close watching this, so it's very emotional for me.
So good to get everything you said is true. Also, flowers your way.
Seriously.
I feel like it's not easy to be a new addition in this group and stand out. And I
Thank
just
you.
really appreciated the warmth and support coming from your character because I needed it in this situation. I have to wind down with you. I'm going to dare to squeeze in 2 more questions. One has to be about one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. It's the scene you two share with Jeremy when he arrives at the camp. I just have to know, what is the biggest difference between how you prep for an emotional beat and a major turning point for your characters compared to like any other scene in this movie?
Well, first of all, that scene took us like 3 days to shoot.
Yeah.
Because of the snow. Scott said that he didn't want there to be any snow falling in the scene. And so me and Mason would get in our wardrobe, sit in the green room, and just wait there for hours. And they tell us, okay, you're wrapped. Time to go home. And so it took us 3 days to actually get to it. And so I feel like we had all this adrenaline built up.
It was a lot because, for a scene like that, especially, or just any scene in general with Finney, has been just getting in that headspace and staying there. And I think that's a really important thing because, it's a lot. And for this scene, I just have this, I'm like, oh yeah, just give me 10 minutes before you let me know and go down, I'll get in my zone. And they do that. And then the snow kept on messing up. So it was just 3 days of just waiting and waiting.
I feel like we were all anticipating it so much that we were all just ready to release it all. Because, the scene, it's a huge arc in the movie, if not the most important arc, because it's the OGs and like their relationship. To see how it's changed so drastically is so beautiful.
I'm so fascinated by how powerful that beat is with that blocking where it's like a triangle
gorgeous.
and you're
It
all
is
so far
gorgeous.
apart.
So
It's
well
very,
done.
very
Something
thought out.
so interesting about that. All right, I have to
rehearsed that
squeeze
for a
in
while.
one question about an upcoming project. Mason, I have to ask you about the second How to Train Your Dragon movie, but I'm going to tie it into Black Phone 2. And I know this
Okay.
is a stretch because they're totally different. But speaking
Basically
of that
the same.
scene, I know, really, the grabber is going to pop up in the second How to Train Your Dragon
Spoiler
movie,
alert,
right?
guys.
In all seriousness,
Yeah.
I have said quite a few times now to people that particular scene isn't just one of my favorite scenes in this movie. It's one of my favorite performance beats of yours ever. I feel like you are going to a level that maybe not only you have never gone to before, but also most actors can't really reach. So I am curious, is there anything about pushing yourself to that extent that you think is going to help you push yourself even further playing Hiccup the second time around?
What's so fun about my job is I think my favorite part is putting myself in the character's shoes and just feeling it. And it's hard to get there. And when you get there, it's special. It's truly, truly magical because you're not, it doesn't even feel like an actor playing this character. I was breathing Finney. And to me, that's kind of the art of what we do. And, that scene was it was a lot. And then after I was, took a while to get out of, the headspace, but I'm really excited to get on, Dragon 2 for a specific scene that, I mean, people have seen it, but it's there's a lot of heartbreak in the second film, and the second one is a very special place in my heart growing up, and I'm very excited to for people to see what we do with it.
I'm a big believer you can do anything. The range I've seen from you this year between How to Train Your Dragon, Regretting You, and this, next level stuff.
I've paid her
All
a lot
incredible.
to say this.
Never, never. Last order of business. You got to move the next piece on our bracket here. You have your pick of choosing between Pinhead and Freddy, or you can go with one of the brackets on this side, Samara, Pennywise, Babadook, Chucky.
I think it should go here.
Okay, wait. There's tack on the back.
Freddy beat Pinhead? No.
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 Re-
No.
No.
Why? Make your
No.
case.
No.
But Pinhead is like
Pinhead is way
too
worse.
strong.
I'm so sorry. Pinhead is worse. Pinhead is
I
worse.
think you should move Pennywise. Pennywise is for sure stronger. than-
Honestly, like... Wait, okay, so we can move...
Not Chucky.
You have to pick one.
No, Chucky's
one of
out.
the
There's
two.
no
Chucky's been
way.
out. I
Get
can't
over here.
believe he's made it this
You
far.
could pick between Chucky and Babadook. You could advance Babadook.
This one.
Pennywise,
Pennywise
Mason.
should win.
I think Pennywise
Oh,
takes
Chucky.
it.
Guys,
This is gonna start a debate.
I mean, Pennywise is like this cosmic evil
I think
thing.
Pennywise should easily move on.
But he did kind of get bullied by children.
That's true. There is low-key an easy way to
made
beat
fun
him.
of.
Okay.
So,
That's valid.
I'm going to go with...
Definitely not Chucky.
No.
Chucky. No. Chucky.
If anything, Pennywise. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what did they move?
Pennywise.
We're moving
Pennywise.
Oh,
Pennywise.
Pennywise versus
Wait,
who?
one per film?
One per film.
You can't play
I think that's
again?
a good one.
I think,
We're
I think
feeling
that's
good
fair.
about
Do we
Pennywise?
all agree?
All right.
Yeah.
This is a group effort.
Yeah.
I have no idea who they are.
Pennywise. Pennywise is it.
I think that's
yeah,
fair.
Pennywise.
For what
There we
it's
go.
worth, I respect that decision.
Yeah.
Valid.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
I'm going to
happy
say
with that.
thank
think-
you. Thank you for playing our game.
Oh, he's gone.
He already lost. He already lost.
I feel like I'm
Didn't
going to
stand a
make that a
chance.
sign that he's going to win, or at least I would feel happy about that being our
He's
winner.
just disappearing.
Thank you for playing our game. Huge, huge, huge congratulations
Thank you.
on Black
Thank
Phone
you
2.
so much.
Thank you.